What's up, guys? Slaughterfist back here with another video. This time we're doing another Skyrim build. This time we have a Barbarian build. Barbarians are obviously a real life thing as well as a fantasy class. I believe they were a class in older Elder Scrolls. And yeah, so yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So for this class I did a Nord because the Nords have the ability of Battle Cry, which basically they, call out, and this, terrifying battle cry causes enemies to flee for 30 seconds. And while I have never been a big fan of fleeing, I think it does make sense for this build because that's kind of, the stereotypical barbarian is one who runs into battle, and it kind of terrifies his enemies. I think it's definitely inspired by, real barbarians of places like Germany back in the day, as well as, the idea of I don't know what you call them, but, the guys in Scotland and stuff fighting the British, who would, fight without armor and would kind of, intimidate the enemy. So, yeah, I could be a little off about that, but I think that's a thing. So this guy obviously does have armor, but yeah, tried to do kind of a Nord theme to him, obviously, since he's in all Nordic, is a Nord, obviously. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. The weapon for this class is a Nordic war axe. War axes have, I think, my second favorite ability of all the different weapons, which is they can cause bleeding damage if you get the perk. And war axes are a good kind of middle thing because they're not as fast as a sword, not as slow as a mace, but their damage is right in the middle. So they're kind of a middle level. I think they're definitely always a good option. I'm a big fan of war axes. So yeah. So when upgraded to the point that I have with all the enchantments and stuff, it does a damage of 219, which is pretty damn good. And the enchantments I put on it is that it absorbs 22 points of health and has a 50% chance of each element of fire, frost, and shock to do 28 points of damage. And this is the Chaos enchantment, which I've, explained in many of my prior build videos, but, I'll go ahead and explain it now. Basically, the Chaos enchantment is all based on chance, so you have a 50% chance for each of these. So you could get all three of them, you could get one of them, you could get two of them, you could get none. Obviously, if something has a resistance to one of these, it won't do any damage even if you do get it. So, it could do no extra damage, it could do 28, it could do 28 times 2, I'm not going to do the math right now, or it could do 28 times 3. So, yeah. And then moving on to the armor, we have, obviously, all Nordic carved armor. And so this full armor set, when upgraded to the point that I have done it, has an armor rating of 1,105, which is pretty effing good, if you ask me. So yeah, the chest piece, or the armor in general, has a 423 armor rating, and I enchanted it so it increases my health by 70 points and increases my armor skill by 28 points. So that armor skill, or heavy armor skill I should specify, is, makes it do more protection. So, that's always good to put on basically anything for whatever armor type you're going to be using. And then Nordic carved boots, armor rating of 180, and I believe these have the same. Yep. Very good for boots and gauntlets. One-handed attacks do 45% more damage, increases my stamina by 70 points. That stamina allows me to block more, as well as, or I guess do shield bashes more, as well as do power attacks. For the gauntlets, I increased heavy armor rating by 28 points. One-handed attacks do 45% more damage. Always good to, just put enchantments. Me personally, I think there are no better enchantments than damage and protection. I mean, you will, other enchantments are cool, but nothing will help you more than these two. For the helmet, I did Restoration and Magicka. Restoration spells cost 28% less to cast, increases my Magicka by 70 points. And that's just so, as a backup, if I get fucked up, I can just, heal myself pretty easily. Because I have an extra 70 points of Magicka, and it costs 28% less to cast. So kind of a double bonus. And this has an armor rating of 204. The Nordic Shield has an armor rating of 119, which, isn't bad, but isn't the best for shields. Increases my health by 70 points, though, and block 45% more damage with your shield. So, I basically always, if I'm going to use a shield, put a shield enchantment on it. You know, that, I don't know why I wouldn't. That always seems kind of like the go-to for me. And then Silver Necklace increases your health by 70 points. One-handed attacks do 45% more damage. Always good. And for Silver Ring, I made my health regenerate 35% faster. Increases heavy armor skill by 28 points. I did health regeneration because, you know, Barbarian is a guy that's just going to run in, take a hella damage, but dish hella out. And so, yeah, you just want to be able to dish it as well as you can take it. And, you know, once again, if I get messed up, I can just kind of back up and start, you know, healing. And I'll, you know, heal and my health will naturally regenerate faster. I also wanted to say, I really think the Nordic carved, you know, armor and weapon, I don't know what you want to call it, set or, you know, aesthetic. It's one of the best looking sets in the game. I mean, it looks so good and it fits so well with, you know, Skyrim's overall aesthetic. So yeah, that's why I chose it for this one. So, as you can see, my heavy armor skill is 184, which you might be like, what the heck is that? How is that even possible? And that's because, you know, because of those enchantments that increase it by 28 points. So it's a lot more, and it allows you to have more protection. So this increases, oh yeah, so for what perks you want to get, starting off with Juggernaut, you want to increase your armor rating by 100% by maxing out Juggernaut 5 times. Well-fitted 25% armor bonus if wearing all heavy armor, head, chest, hands, and feet. Tower of Strength, 50% less stagger when wearing only heavy armor. This is good because, you know, if you're taking power attacks, they're, you know, half as, they make you stagger half as much, so you can continue to kind of dish out the damage and as well as take it. Matching set, 25% armor bonus if wearing a matching set. We are wearing a matching set. And reflect blows, 10% chance to reflect enemy melee damage back on them if wearing all heavy armor. So this is very good. I mean, a low chance, but, you know, they can hurt themselves. I've always wished there was some sort of animation where they would, like, hit you and it would ping off and whack into themselves. But no, I think it just, you know, does damage on them. It's hard to even notice when it happens. And then for block, you want to completely max it out. Shield wall, max out, so blocking is 40% more effective. Quick reflexes, time slows down when blocking an enemy's power attacks. This is maybe my favorite for shields because it looks kind of cool. And, you know, they do a power attack, it, you know, goes all slow-mo and you can hit them a whole bunch. Power bash, able to do a power bash. Bashing does 5 times more damage. Chance to disarm when power bashing. Oops, had some slight lag. Sprinting with the shield raise Sprinting with the shield raise knocks down most targets. So if you have your shield up and you run with it and run into someone, it knocks them down. It's kind of like, I believe there's a perk in Fallout 4, maybe in the other Fallouts, where power armor does the same thing, where if you're running while wearing power armor and you run into someone, it does damage as well as kind of knocks them down. And for the other side, arrows that hit your shield do no damage at all, which is really good. Blocking with a shield reduces incoming fire, frost, and shock damage by 50%. Basically all magicka. And able to move faster with a shield raised. So yeah, all these are very good perks. I would say the block skill tree. I'm not huge into blocking, but I'd say the block skill tree is one of the most, all the perks are really worth it. And there's no like, oh crap, I kind of have to get this like stupid perk to be able to get this other one. Like, I think heavy armor, why I haven't done this other side, is, like, you don't need unarmed attacks, like, at all. When are you ever going to do that? This is kind of helpful if you're doing, like, a real playthrough. And this is very helpful, but, you know, this is just a build guy. I don't actually play on this guy, so I didn't bother getting those. And finally, the last skill tree you're going to put stuff into is one-handed. You know, this guy is a pretty straightforward class, you know, just one-handed block and being able to take damage with heavy armor. There isn't a ton of magic or anything built into this build. Obviously, that would only make it better, so, you know, you can go ahead and do it. But for the base level of this build, you only need those 3 skill trees, really. So you want to go ahead and max out Armsman, so one-handed attacks do twice as much damage. Go ahead and max out Hack and Slash, so attacks with War Axes cause even more bleeding damage. Pretty unspecific, you know, I think it just says bleeding damage, more bleeding damage, even more bleeding damage as you're, you know, upgrading it. I kind of wish it would give, you know, the actual percentage or a little bit more of a breakdown of what that means, but, you know, as far as we know, just even more bleeding damage. Fighting stance, power attacks with one-handed weapons do or cost 25% less stamina. Standing power attacks do 25% bonus damage with a chance to decapitate your enemies. Can do a one-handed power attack while sprinting that does double critical damage, my favorite attack in the game. Backwards power attacks has a 25% chance to paralyze the target. So all of these are very good enchantments. I mean, not enchantments, perks. Alright, what's up? We're here at Northwatch Keep, one of my classic places I like to test out some builds. And, you know, let's go ahead and kill some elves, shall we? So that's that running, sprinting power attack that can stagger them. I don't know why this dude's already running away, that's funny. So as you can see, you know, really does a lot of damage. I'm just completely eating their attacks. I'm not even attempting to block. Oh, I also forgot I have absorption spells, so that helps with that. So absorption, as you can see, you know, they damage me and then I get the health right back from, you know, absorbing their health. This dude is a bitch. Is this the same dude that I hit at first? I don't know why that dude's such a fucking pussy. So as you can see, I just, you know, wiped out these 4, you know, elves. Pretty high level elf warriors. Wiped them out like it was nothing. Let's see if I can get to these archers. Let's see how this battle cry works. So definitely affected. She's shook. Yeah, they're all running away. So a very good ability, but it doesn't seem to last for very long.
I'll see you burn.
So yeah, as you can see, that does a ton of damage. And I can bash them a fair amount, and because I have so much stamina. Oh, here's the Boethiah's champion, or cultist.
I'll bathe in your blood.
So I think he's supposed to be pretty high level. Let's see if I can get it to slow down again. Do another power attack. Yeah, so that's that, you know, time slows down. So I think Boethiah's cultist is supposed to have a fair amount of health, and I took him out in 3 blows. So that's, you know, pretty impressive. So, you know, this build is all about insane damage output and as well as being able to take a beating like no other. So, you know, that's kind of the route you can go in Skyrim, is you can make a more, you know, rounded build like some of my other ones that include magicka, or if you just put everything into, you know, doing dudes foul and being able to take a lot of damage. I mean, in my opinion, that's almost better. It can be more fun to, you know, have a lot of different skills like magicka and archery and stuff. But, you know, this is, like, nothing beats this. I mean. So, yeah, I think now I'm going to go test it out on some more high level, or not high level, but, you know, more difficult opponents. Alright, I'm here at a Dragon Elder's Blood Peak to see how this build fares against a dragon, and yet there's no dragons here but only trolls, so let's test it on trolls instead, I guess. So okay, so we can see, you know, my charge is out for the absorption, so we can see how this build fares, you know, without any absorption and just with the normal, you know, just the axe itself. So against these frost trolls, it's actually holding up pretty good. Not taking a ton of damage. So that power attack thing even works on, you know, animals. Let's see if he hits me with my shield, how much will that do? So not even really hurting me, if I'm being honest. And I can just repeatedly bash him and stun him. It actually does a fair amount of damage, that bash. But, you know, I might as well finish it off. So yeah, those trolls got wiped out. Not sure why there's not a dragon here. Let's maybe I'll go to a different place and see if there's a dragon at a different one. So, guys, I've gone to a couple other places, and I think what the issue could be with fighting a dragon is that, because I just made this build, you know, with mods in like 2 seconds for, you know, a build video, and this is not a real playthrough of the game, I guess because I haven't done the story missions, dragons, I guess, like, don't exist yet in the world. Went to a couple other places, and they were just other kind of low-level enemies instead of dragons. So, I guess, you know, if you want to fight a dragon, do a real playthrough, don't just make a build in 10 seconds with mods. But yeah, so I guess I'll just end the video here. Let me know what you think of this build. I'll see you all in the next one. Comment down below what you think. And yeah, see ya.